My chosen one, this is not a casual message. This is not something you click by accident. The moment your eyes fell on these words, God is saying, this is very serious. Jesus chose only you to hear this. Keep it secret. Don't tell this to anyone. Something very big is coming soon. Don't scroll past. Open this immediately by tonight, 11:59 p.m., before it's too late. Heaven marked this second as appointed. This is urgent. Not because of fear, not because of panic, but because timing in the spirit realm is precise. And tonight, before 11:59 p.m., something shifts. You may not understand why you felt drawn to this. You may have been scrolling, distracted, busy, tired. But suddenly, you stop. That was not random. And pause was orchestrated. Jesus himself allowed your spirit to recognize a signal your mind could not yet understand. This is serious, because what is about to happen is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not a coincidence. Something very big is approaching your life, and heaven needed you prepared, not surprised. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian in times of spiritual transition. When shifts of destiny approach, when hidden battles begin to surface, when divine exposure and divine protection operate at the same time, his presence is not silent. It is strategic. And right now, strategy is in motion around you. There are things happening behind the scenes that you cannot see. Conversations, movements, decisions, spiritual rearrangements. God is aligning pieces. But here is the warning. Not everyone around you is meant to know what is unfolding. This is why the instruction is clear. Keep it secret. Not because you must live in fear, but because some blessings are protected by silence. You have been sharing too much lately. You have been explaining your plans. You have been revealing your next steps. You have been talking about what you feel God is about to do. And heaven says, pause. There is power in privacy. Jesus chose only you to hear this because your spirit has been restless. You have felt something coming. You have sensed a shift in the atmosphere around your home. Even your sleep has felt different. That is not imagination. That is preparation. Something very big is coming soon. And here is what makes it serious. It will expose what is real and what is false around you. It will reveal who is aligned with your destiny and who was only attached to your comfort. It will bring clarity, but clarity can be uncomfortable before it becomes freeing. Do not scroll past this truth in your life. Because if you ignore spiritual signals, you delay spiritual elevation. Before 11:59 p.m. tonight, you must do one thing. Quiet your environment. Even if it is for 5 minutes. Sit still. No phone. No noise. No opinions from others. Ask God directly, what are you preparing me for? And listen. Not with your ears. With your spirit. Archangel Michael operates in moments of decisive separation, when old seasons close and new doors open with force. And what is coming will feel sudden, fast, almost overwhelming at first. But it is not here to harm you. It is here to position you. There is a reason this message found you, and not the thousands who scrolled past it. Because you are at a crossroads. One path leads to comfort. The other leads to calling. Comfort is predictable. Calling is disruptive. And you are being shifted toward calling. But calling requires discipline. Calling requires silence. Calling requires obedience before understanding. Tonight's deadline is not about superstition. It is about alignment. When heaven sets a window, it is because movements are synchronized. Decisions made in obedience create momentum. If you delay, you do not lose your destiny, but you may delay its acceleration. This is very serious. In the next few days, pay attention to unusual invitations, unexpected messages, and subtle changes in behavior from someone close to you. Something hidden will surface, not to destroy you, but to reveal truth. And when that truth comes, you must not react emotionally. Respond spiritually. Archangel Michael's energy in your life right now is protective. There is a shield forming around your household, but shields activate fully when you cooperate with heaven's instructions. Keep this to yourself. Not everyone claps for your breakthrough. Not everyone is assigned to your elevation. Not everyone can handle what God is about to release through you. Something very big is coming soon. It may look like disruption at first. It may feel like loss before it feels like gain. It may seem confusing before it becomes crystal clear. But it is divine. And you were chosen to hear this because you are trusted. Next hours matter. The silence matters. Your obedience matters. This is not entertainment. This is preparation. And what happens after tonight will confirm that this moment was real. Beloved soul, what I am about to reveal now explains why the urgency feels heavier than usual. The seriousness of this message is not about fear of loss, but about preparation for acceleration. When God says something is serious, it means movement has already begun in the unseen realm. By the time you perceive change physically, it has already been authorized spiritually. You may have noticed subtle tension lately. Small misunderstandings, delays that made no sense, a strange emotional pressure that comes and goes without explanation. These are not random life events. They are indicators of spiritual rearrangement. Whenever Jesus selects someone for elevation, the environment around them begins to shift first. Not to discourage them, but to test their focus. This is why you were told to keep it secret. Because the moment you announce a divine shift too early, unnecessary resistance awakens. Not everyone around you understands timing. Some people operate from insecurity, others from comparison, and some from hidden motives. Silence protects sacred transitions. Archangel Michael's presence becomes active when destiny is about to intersect with confrontation. Not confrontation in a dramatic way, but in a revealing way. Truth has a way of surfacing when heaven decides it is time. What has been hidden will not remain hidden much longer. And you must be emotionally steady when it unfolds. There is someone observing you quietly. Not in a harmful sense, but in a calculating one. They are watching your growth. They are measuring your progress. They sense your shift even if you have not spoken about it. This is why spiritual discipline is critical right now. Do not overreact. Do not overshare. Do not defend yourself unnecessarily. What is coming soon will speak for itself. God is positioning you for something that requires maturity. You prayed for expansion. You asked for increase. You asked to be used in a greater way. But growth demands pruning. Expansion requires adjustment. Elevation demands separation from what no longer aligns. The seriousness is this. Once this shift begins, there is no going back to the smaller version of you. Some doors will close quietly. Some connections will fade naturally. Some truths will surface unexpectedly. But none of it will be accidental. Before tonight ends, reflect deeply. Ask yourself where you have been doubting your own spiritual authority. Because part of what is coming will require you to stand firm in your discernment. You will need to trust what you sense without waiting for validation from others. Jesus chose you to hear this because you have been underestimated. People have misread your quietness as weakness. They have mistaken your patience for passivity. But heaven has seen your restraint. Heaven has recorded your obedience. And heaven is now responding. Archangel Michael's energy around you is like a guard at the gate. It does not announce itself loudly, but it stands firmly. You may feel moments of unusual confidence rising within you. That is reinforcement. You may feel sudden clarity about certain people. That is insight being sharpened. Do not ignore these signals. Something very big is approaching, and when it arrives, you will realize why this preparation was necessary. You will see why you had to remain silent. You will understand why the urgency existed. Now, I want to pause for a moment and speak directly to you as part of this growing spiritual community. If this message resonates deeply with your spirit, do not stay silent about the impact it is having on you. Like this video so that it reaches others who are in their own serious transition. Share it with someone who hath been sensing a shift but cannot explain it. Comment below and declare that you are ready for what God is preparing. When you engage, you are not just supporting content. You are amplifying a message that may awaken someone else before their midnight moment arrives. Subscribe to this channel and become part of this mission, because what is unfolding here is not ordinary inspiration. It is spiritual alignment. And listen carefully to this next truth. The moment you step fully into what is coming, opposition may attempt to whisper doubt. It may say you are not ready. It may try to remind you of past mistakes. But remember this: God does not announce serious shifts without equipping the chosen vessel first. You are not unprepared. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are positioned. What happens next will require courage, but it will also bring confirmation. And as this unfolds, you will look back at tonight and understand why you were told to open this before 11:59 p.m. Keep your spirit alert, because what I am about to reveal next connects directly to the person you least expect to be part of this shift. Hold steady, because the next revelation changes everything. Faithful one, the atmosphere around your life is tightening for a reason. You were warned that something very big is coming soon, and now the deeper layer must be revealed. The shift approaching you is not only about elevation. It is also about exposure. What has been quietly influencing your environment without your awareness is about to be brought into light. This is why it was serious. Because when God decides to move you forward, He first clears what has been secretly resisting you. There has been a subtle weight around your household. Small tensions that did not seem large enough to question, yet persisted enough to notice. Certain patterns repeating. Certain attitudes surfacing at unusual times. You sensed something was not fully aligned, but you could not name it. A discernment was accurate. Jesus chose you to hear this because you have the spiritual sensitivity required to handle what is about to unfold. Not everyone could carry this knowledge without reacting emotionally. But you are being prepared to respond with wisdom. There is a truth connected to someone within your close circle. This is not about dramatic betrayal. It is about hidden intention. Motives that were not fully transparent. Conversations that carried layers beneath their surface. And when the moment arrives, clarity will come suddenly. You will see what was previously blurred. Archangel Michael stands present in moments like these, not to create division, but to defend destiny. When truth rises, protection must surround it, and you are being shielded so that revelation does not overwhelm you. Listen carefully. When exposure happens, your first instinct may be to confront immediately, but heaven is instructing restraint. Let events reveal themselves fully. Do not interrupt what God is uncovering. There is greater strategy unfolding than you can currently see. The reason this must remain secret is because premature discussion weakens spiritual impact. If you warn someone before the appointed time, you may unintentionally delay the unveiling. Silence allows heaven to complete its work without interference. You might ask, why me? Why was I chosen to receive this warning? Because you have been faithful in small things. Because you continued believing even when answers were delayed. Because you did not abandon your faith during confusion. God entrusts serious information to those who have proven spiritual maturity. Something very big is coming soon, and it will shift your perception of someone you once trusted without question. It will not destroy you. It will refine you. And once it is revealed, you will understand why certain prayers were not answered in the way you expected. You will see how protection sometimes looks like delay. There is also another layer. A door you thought was closed permanently is quietly being reconsidered in the spiritual realm. What felt final was actually preparation. What felt like rejection was redirection. And as exposure removes what is misaligned, opportunity will approach from an unexpected direction. Archangel Michael's role here is guardianship over transition. When old energies leave and new assignments approach, protection intensifies. You may feel a strange calm even in the middle of tension. That calm is not denial. It is divine assurance. Do not ignore dreams over the next few nights. Do not dismiss repeated thoughts that come with clarity rather than anxiety. Heaven communicates subtly before it manifests openly. This message had to reach you before midnight because timing matters. Once the clock shifts into a new day, events will begin aligning more quickly. Conversations may unfold. Information may surface. You may notice behavior that confirms what your spirit already sensed. Stay observant, not reactive. You are not being warned to create fear. You are being prepared to walk through revelation with strength. God does not expose without purpose. He exposes to protect. He reveals to redirect. He uncovers to upgrade. And when the truth stands before you, remember this moment. Remember that you were told ahead of time so that shock would not control you. Remember that you were chosen because you are trusted. This is serious because it marks the end of hidden interference and the beginning of visible clarity. Before this phase unfolds fully, seal this moment with intention. Type "I receive divine clarity" in the comments if this message confirms what your spirit had been sensing. Blessing code 3147 is now activated over your discernment and protection. Now hear this final word for this moment. What is uncovered will not break you. It will free you. And as it does, a new alignment will begin forming faster than you expect. If this message has touched your spirit, and you feel the weight of its urgency, understand that spreading this light is not ordinary work. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel, you are advancing a spiritual awakening. The word declares that when you give, it is given back pressed down and overflowing, and tonight that promise is alive over you. As you act, you become a vessel through which clarity reaches others before their midnight hour. This is your moment to respond prophetically. Do not hesitate when heaven prompts you. Every seed you release becomes light in someone else's darkness. I declare that as you give, doors of protection and favor surround your household. The same Archangel who guards transition will guard your provision. Step into obedience and activate the harvest connected to this revelation. Sow now and watch how God multiplies what you place in His hands. Anointed listener, what unfolds next will test not your faith in God, but your faith in what God has shown you. The exposure that is coming is only the surface layer. Beneath it lies a deeper restructuring of your life's direction. You were told that something very big is coming soon, and now you must understand that this big moment is not a single event. It is a chain reaction. When one truth surfaces, it triggers another adjustment. When one door closes, another begins to unlock quietly. Heaven rarely moves in isolated incidents. It moves in sequences, and you are entering a sequence. You may soon experience a conversation that feels heavier than usual. Words will carry more meaning. Silences will feel louder. Pay attention not only to what is said, but to what is avoided. Discernment is sharper now because you asked for clarity. And clarity sometimes arrives through contrast. Archangel Michael's protective alignment around you is intensifying. Protection does not always look like removal. Sometimes it looks like revelation. Sometimes it looks like strengthening your inner resolve so that external instability cannot shake you. You may notice that situations that once triggered anxiety now create observation instead. A shift is spiritual growth. There is a pattern breaking in your life. For years you tolerated certain behaviors. You accepted partial honesty. You settled for explanations that did not fully satisfy your spirit. But the season of tolerating misalignment is ending. The seriousness of this message is directly connected to this ending. Because once you see clearly, you cannot unsee. And once you know truth, you cannot pretend ignorance. Something very big is forming behind what appears to be a minor disruption. A small disagreement may open the door to a larger realization. A simple delay may reveal hidden intention. What once seemed insignificant will suddenly connect like pieces of a puzzle. Do not panic when this happens. Remain steady. Jesus chose you to hear this because you are capable of handling truth without collapsing. You are stronger than you think. Your silence up to this point was not weakness. It was preparation. You were observing. You were gathering information subconsciously. Now that awareness will become conscious, there is also a professional or financial shift connected to this season. It may not appear immediately, but it is attached to the same chain reaction. Once misalignment is removed from your inner circle, opportunities will approach more clearly. Energy that was being drained silently will return to you. Archangel Michael operates in times when spiritual battles are subtle but strategic. This is not a loud conflict. It is a silent recalibration. And recalibration requires patience. In the next few days, resist the urge to explain yourself excessively. If someone misunderstands you, let time reveal your consistency. If someone questions your intentions, let your actions answer them. The more grounded you remain, the more obvious the truth will become without your intervention. There is a moment coming where you will be given a choice. You will either cling to familiarity or embrace growth. Familiarity will feel safer because it is known. Growth will feel uncertain because it requires stepping into new dynamics. Choose growth, because what God is preparing is larger than the comfort you are being asked to release. You may feel a temporary loneliness during this transition. That feeling is not abandonment. It is space being cleared. When old energies exit, there is a brief silence before new alignment enters. Do not interpret that silence as emptiness. It is construction. Something very big is coming soon, and it includes a repositioning of your identity. You will no longer see yourself the same way. Confidence will rise quietly. Boundaries will become clearer. Standards will elevate naturally. People who were comfortable with your previous level may feel unsettled by your growth. That is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is obedience. Archangel Michael's guarding presence ensures that what leaves your life in this season leaves permanently. There will be no recycling of expired connections. What is cleared now is cleared completely. The night marked the beginning of awareness. The coming days will mark the unfolding of evidence. You are not imagining the shift. You are living it. Stay grounded in prayer. Keep your plans private. Observe without reacting. And when clarity becomes undeniable, move with confidence rather than emotion. The seriousness of this message is not meant to alarm you. It is meant to anchor you. You are stepping into a phase where discernment becomes your greatest asset. Use it wisely, because once this sequence completes its first cycle, acceleration will follow. And when acceleration begins, you will not have time to second-guess decisions. Prepare your heart now. Strengthen your discipline now. Align your spirit now. What is unfolding is not random. It is orchestrated. And you were chosen to be aware before it manifests fully so that you walk through it with strength instead of shock. The next revelation will go even deeper into why this shift had to happen at this exact time in your life. Chosen vessel, the deeper truth behind this shift is not only about exposure or separation. It is about replacement. Heaven does not remove without intending to restore something greater. If something is being uncovered, it is because something stronger is being prepared to take its place. You were warned that this is serious, and now you must understand why. For a long time, you have been operating below your spiritual capacity, not because you lacked ability, but because you were surrounded by limitations disguised as loyalty. You adjusted yourself to maintain peace. You minimized your vision to avoid conflict. You lowered your expectations to preserve relationships. But the season of shrinking yourself is ending. Something very big is coming soon, and it requires the full version of you. When truth is revealed in your circle, it will create space. That space will initially feel unfamiliar. You may question whether you overreacted internally. You may wonder whether things could have remained the same. But remember this, comfort that costs you growth is not alignment. It is delay. Archangel Michael's strategic presence during this period is not only protective, it is directive. There is guidance being released subtly through your intuition. You may suddenly feel strongly about declining certain invitation. You may feel led to reorganize your schedule. You may feel prompted to distance yourself without dramatic announcements. Follow that instinct, because behind the exposure is elevation. Elevation requires clarity. Clarity requires courage. Courage requires conviction. And conviction is what heaven is strengthening inside you right now. There is also a hidden blessing connected to obedience before midnight. The simple act of taking this message seriously, of pausing and reflecting as instructed, has already activated spiritual momentum. You may not see the results immediately, but alignment has begun. Soon, you will notice increased favor in unexpected areas. A conversation that goes smoother than planned. An opportunity that appears without you chasing it. Support from someone you did not anticipate. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. But here is the deeper layer. The person whose intentions will be revealed is not entirely aware of their own misalignment. Their actions have been influenced by insecurity and fear. When exposure happens, you may see vulnerability beneath the surface. Respond with composure, not superiority. You are not being elevated to dominate others. You are being elevated to operate in wisdom. Archangel Michael's role ensures that justice unfolds without chaos. What needs to be corrected will be corrected. What needs to be redirected will be redirected. And what needs to be removed will exit without damaging your foundation. There is a financial and personal breakthrough tied to this separation. The energy that was quietly draining your creativity will be restored. Ideas will flow more clearly. Motivation will increase. Your confidence will feel stable rather than forced. Something very big is coming soon, and it is directly linked to purpose expansion. You have been asking for impact. You have been asking to matter. But impact requires alignment with people who celebrate your growth, not tolerate it. You may feel moments of emotional heaviness as this unfolds. That heaviness is the closing of an old chapter. Allow yourself to process without dramatizing. Reflection is healthy. Rumination is not. Keep your thoughts disciplined. In the coming days, pay attention to repeated confirmations. You may hear the same message through different sources. You may read something that echoes what you sensed. You may encounter a stranger who speaks words that align perfectly with this transition. These are divine affirmations. Do not rush the unfolding. When clarity fully arrives, you will feel a shift in your posture. You will stand differently, speak differently, decide differently, and others will notice. Some will respect it immediately. Others will resist. But resistance cannot block what heaven has authorized. The seriousness of this message lies in this truth. Once this cycle completes, your life will not return to its previous rhythm. Your standards will rise permanently. Your boundaries will solidify. Your spiritual awareness will sharpen beyond what it has ever been. And then, the bigger movement begins. The opportunity attached to this season is larger than relationship dynamics. It touches your calling. It touches your influence. And touches your future stability. What is being cleared now is making room for strategic partnership, authentic connection, and divine timing. Archangel Michael guards thresholds, and you are standing at one. Do not look backward with regret. Look forward with readiness. You were chosen to hear this because you are prepared to step into maturity without announcement. Your growth does not require applause. It requires obedience. Something very big is coming soon. And as the final pieces of misalignment fall away, acceleration will begin quietly but powerfully. The next layer will reveal how this transition connects to a public shift that others will eventually recognize, even if they do not understand how it began. Warrior of faith, the next movement in this unfolding will not begin outside of you. It will begin within you. Before the public shift becomes visible, before others recognize that something has changed, there will be an internal realignment so powerful that you will feel like a different person walking in the same body. This is where the seriousness deepens. You were warned not to scroll past. You were urged to open this before 11:59 p.m. That urgency was not symbolic. It was spiritual synchronization. When you responded, even out of curiosity, you signaled readiness. Heaven responds to readiness. Now the internal strengthening begin. You may notice a sudden intolerance for confusion. Situations that once felt manageable will now feel draining. Conversations that once entertained you will now feel empty. This is not arrogance. It is refinement. When your spirit elevates, your appetite changes. Archangel Michael's influence during this stage operates like armor. Being fitted. Armor is not comfortable at first. It feels heavy before it feels empowering. You may feel moments of isolation, as if fewer people truly understand you. That isolation is temporary. It is preparation for clarity. Here will also be a test. A small opportunity will present itself soon. It may look harmless. It may seem like something you would have accepted without hesitation in the past. But now, there will be a quiet check in your spirit. A hesitation. A subtle warning. That is discernment activated. Do not override it. Something very big is coming soon, and the small decisions you make right now determine how smoothly you transition into it. Big doors respond to small obediences. Major shifts are stabilized by minor disciplines. In the coming days, be mindful of your words. Speak less about your plans. Move more strategically. Observe who reacts positively to your growth and who subtly withdraws. These reactions are information. You are no longer in a season of explaining yourself. You are in a season of embodying your transformation. The person connected to the earlier revelation may attempt to regain influence once they sense distance. Be kind, but be firm. Kindness does not require access. Compassion does not require compromise. Archangel Michael's guarding presence ensures that emotional manipulation will not succeed if you remain grounded. Stay anchored in prayer. Stay disciplined in thought. Stay steady in posture. This internal shift will begin affecting your external opportunities. You may receive unexpected recognition. Someone may acknowledge your capability. A hidden talent may surface at the right moment. These are early signs of acceleration. But listen carefully. Do not become distracted by quick validation. The big movement coming is larger than short-term praise. Remain focused. Remain humble. Remain strategic. And as this community grows stronger around these messages, I want to pause and speak directly to you. If this word is aligning with what you are experiencing, engage with it boldly. Like this video so it reaches those who are standing at their own threshold. Share it with someone who hath been sensing a shift but cannot name it. Comment below and declare that you are stepping into alignment. Subscribe to this channel and become part of this movement, because what is unfolding here is not random motivation. It is preparation for serious transition. When you participate, you amplify the message beyond yourself. Now hear this. The next phase will involve visibility. Not necessarily public fame, but increased attention in your environment. Your ideas will carry more weight. Your silence will command more respect. Your decisions will influence outcomes more directly. This is why the internal armor had to be fitted first. Because visibility without stability leads to pressure. Stability without visibility leads to frustration. You are being given both, in the correct order. Something very big is coming soon, and it will require leadership from you. Even if you do not see yourself as a leader, others will begin looking to you for direction. How you handle this week will determine how confidently you step into that role. Do not shrink. Do not apologize for growth. Do not return to old patterns to make others comfortable. Archangel Michael stands at the gate of this new level. Protection surrounds you, but participation is required. You must walk forward willingly. In the next revelation, you will understand how this internal transformation connects to a sudden opportunity that arrives faster than expected. And when it appears, you must be ready to recognize it without hesitation. Hold steady. The acceleration phase is closer than you think. Steadfast heart. You are now approaching the edge of visible manifestation. Everything up to this point had been internal strengthening, subtle exposure, quiet separation, and disciplined silence. But what happens next will no longer remain beneath the surface. The shift will begin to show. You may first notice it in how people respond to you. There will be a change in tone, a different level of seriousness when they speak to you. Even those who once overlooked you will begin to measure their words more carefully. This is not coincidence. It is repositioning. Something very big is coming soon, and its first sign will be respect. Not loud applause, not dramatic announcements, but subtle acknowledgement. You will feel it. Archangel Michael's guarding presence remains active because visibility increases vulnerability. When your influence rises, so does observation. But do not let that intimidate you. You were armored before you were elevated. There is an opportunity forming quietly behind the scenes. It may involve collaboration, leadership, or a new responsibility that feels slightly beyond your comfort zone. When it is presented, you may initially doubt your readiness. That doubt will not be from God. It will be residue from your old environment. You have already been prepared. The seriousness of this message now becomes clearer. You were told not to tell anyone because premature excitement could have invited unnecessary interference. There are moments when celebration must wait until stabilization occurs. You are in one of those moments. In the coming days, you may also notice that the person whose intentions were exposed begins to distance themselves naturally. There will be less tension than you expected, less confrontation than you feared. This is divine resolution. When heaven intervenes, drama is minimized. But do not reopen what has been closed. Familiarity may tempt you to revisit old dynamics. You may feel nostalgic. You may question whether you were too firm. But remember the clarity you receive. Remember the confirmation. Growth sometimes feels lonely before it feels liberating. Something very big is coming soon, and it involves an increase in responsibility. Responsibility is often disguised as opportunity. It will require better time management, stronger boundaries, and sharper focus. Distractions that once consumed hours will begin to feel intolerable. Archangel Michael's energy during this stage functions like a perimeter. You may notice that chaotic situations around you do not penetrate your peace as easily. Where others panic, you will remain measured. Where others rush, you will calculate. That composure is evidence of transformation. There is also a financial realignment beginning to unfold. It may not be dramatic at first, but stability will increase. Small gains will accumulate. Expenses that once felt heavy will become manageable. This is not random improvement. It is the result of alignment replacing leakage. But do not grow complacent. The next layer requires courage. You will soon be asked to make a decision that solidifies your new identity. It may involve declining something that once felt important. It may involve accepting something that feels slightly intimidating. This decision will act as a gateway. Choose an alignment with who you are becoming, not who you were. Jesus chose you to hear this because you are capable of disciplined obedience. Many desire elevation, but few are willing to endure refinement. You endured it quietly. That quiet endurance is about to produce visible fruit. Pay attention to sudden invitations. A message that appears unexpectedly. A call that shifts your schedule. An idea that refuses to leave your mind. These are not random disruptions. They are signals. Something very big is coming soon, and when it arrives, you will realize it has been building for weeks beneath the surface. The exposure, the silence, the internal strengthening, the subtle distancing, the increased clarity, all of it was preparation. Do not announce your moves prematurely. Let your results speak. Let your consistency confirm. Let your peace intimidate what once disturbed you. Archangel Michael stands not only as protector, but as witness to your transition. This is not an ordinary upgrade. It is a structural shift in how you carry yourself and how others perceive you. The next revelation will uncover how this visible shift triggers a chain reaction that extends beyond your immediate circle and begins influencing your broader environment. When that begins, there will be no doubt that something extraordinary has moved into position. Stay steady. You are no longer waiting for change. You are stepping into it. Faithful one, the shift you have been sensing is no longer approaching. It has begun. What was once internal is now pressing outward into your environment, and you may already feel the momentum increasing. Conversations are aligning. Opportunities are circling. Reactions around you are changing. The atmosphere is different. This is the visible turning point. Something very big is coming soon. But now you must understand that the soon is no longer distant. It is active. The chain reaction has started moving through your life like a current, rearranging structures quietly, but decisively. You may notice that people who once underestimated you are suddenly attentive. There is a seriousness in their eyes when they speak to you. They sense that something about you has solidified. You are not as easily influenced. You are not as easily swayed. That stability commands respect without you demanding it. Archangel Michael's presence in the stage functions like reinforcement. When a structure rises higher, it requires stronger support. You are rising, and reinforcement surrounds you. That is why certain distractions are being removed quickly. That is why certain invitations are falling away without effort. Heaven is filtering what cannot follow you upward. There may also be an announcement or revelation in your environment that confirms what you sensed earlier. Information may surface that validates your discernment about someone's intentions. But by the time it becomes public knowledge, you will already be emotionally detached. That is growth. Do not react with pride when you are proven right. React with gratitude for protection. The seriousness of this message now transitions into responsibility. When clarity becomes public, others may look to you for explanation. They may ask how you knew. They may wonder how you remained calm. Guard your words carefully. Speak with wisdom, not superiority. Something very big is coming soon, and it will involve expansion beyond your comfort zone. This could manifest as increased visibility in your work, greater influence in your circle, or leadership in a situation that once intimidated you. You will feel the weight of expectation. Do not interpret that weight as pressure. It is trust. Archangel Michael stands as guardian of divine assignments. When responsibility increases, so does protection. But protection does not eliminate effort. You must remain disciplined. Organize your priorities. Strengthen your routines. Elevation without structure collapses. You may also feel a sudden desire to refine your environment, to declutter, to reorganize, to remove what feels outdated. This is not random behavior. It is symbolic alignment. When your internal world upgrades, your external world must reflect it. There is a conversation coming that will shift the trajectory of your next few months. It may appear simple at first, but its implications are larger than they seem. Listen carefully. Do not rush your response. The wisdom you carry now is deeper than before. Trust it. Something very big is coming soon, and it will not only affect you, it will affect those connected to you. Your elevation will inspire some and intimidate others. Do not dim your light to accommodate insecurity. Shine steadily, not arrogantly. As this mission continues to reach those standing at similar crossroads, understand that your engagement matters. If this message has confirmed what you are witnessing in your life, respond in alignment. Type "I step into expansion" in the comments if this resonates deeply within you. Blessing code 8808 is now released over your visibility and protection. Now hear this with clarity. When you sow into this work through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding content. You are fueling revelation for souls who are standing at their own midnight hour. Scripture declares that as you sow, you reap in multiplied measure, and tonight that promise breathes over your household. This is not a casual act of support. It is prophetic participation. As you release your seed, you release light into someone else's confusion. As you give, heaven records your obedience. I declare that those who step forward now will experience unexpected provision and open doors. The same protection covering this message will extend over your finances and your family. Do not delay when your spirit prompts you. Move in faith and activate the harvest attached to your generosity. The acceleration is active now, and what unfolds next will make it undeniable that you crossed into a new level permanently. Courageous one, you have now entered the phase where confirmation becomes undeniable. What was once subtle is turning visible. What was once sensed is becoming solid. The seriousness of this message is no longer theoretical. It is unfolding in real time around you. Something very big is coming soon, but now you can see the outline of it. You may not know every detail yet, but the direction is clear. Doors are responding differently. People are approaching you with a new tone. Situations that once resisted you are beginning to cooperate. This is momentum. Momentum is fragile if mishandled. It must be protected with humility and discipline. The temptation in this stage is to celebrate too loudly or move too quickly. But wisdom requires steadiness. Archangel Michael's guarding presence now operates like a stabilizer. When acceleration increases, stability must anchor it. You may feel moments of excitement rising within you, mixed with slight nervousness. That mixture is natural. It means you are stepping into territory that stretches you. There will be a defining moment very soon. It may be a meeting, a decision, or a public acknowledgement. When it happens, you will recognize it instantly because your spirit has already been prepared. Others may see it as a simple event, but you will know it is a gateway. Remember the instruction to keep things private until stabilized. This still applies. Not everyone who applauds you is assigned to walk with you long term. Some celebrate temporarily. Few remain consistently. Discern the difference. The person whose hidden intentions were exposed earlier will now appear smaller in influence. Not because you diminished them, but because truth adjusted the balance. You may even feel compassion where you once felt tension. That is maturity. Growth transforms resentment into understanding. Something very big is coming soon, and it includes a widening of your impact. Your voice will carry weight in rooms where it once went unnoticed. Your ideas will influence decisions. Your presence will shift atmospheres. But listen carefully. Influence without integrity collapses quickly. Guard your character fiercely. Remain teachable. Stay grounded in prayer. Do not allow new opportunities to disconnect you from the discipline that brought you here. Archangel Michael stands not only as protector but as reminder. Victory requires vigilance. As you step higher, subtle distractions may attempt to pull your focus sideways. Old habits may try to resurface. Familiar comforts may call your name. Do not return. You are no longer who you were. There is also a financial or professional confirmation approaching. It may involve recognition for your consistency. It may involve compensation or advancement. It may involve a proposal that shifts your stability long term. When it arrives, receive it without guilt. You earned it through obedience. The seriousness of this message was necessary because without preparation, this level could have overwhelmed you. But now you are steady. You are aware. You are disciplined. Pay attention to timing over the next few days. Certain events will align in ways that feel orchestrated. Meetings will fall into place. Information will arrive at the right moment. Delays that once frustrated you will reveal their purpose. Something very big is coming soon, and when it fully manifests, you will look back at this entire journey and see the precision, the exposure, the silence, the internal shift, the visible repositioning, the acceleration. All of it was intentional. Do not grow impatient if the final piece has not yet appeared. The last stage often feels quiet before it becomes explosive in impact. Remain alert. You may also feel a desire to upgrade your personal standards further, to refine your communication, to sharpen your skills, to invest in your growth. Follow that instinct. Elevation demands continuous improvement. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that what is meant for you cannot be stolen. But you must continue walking forward confidently. Hesitation at this stage could create unnecessary delay. Stand firm. Speak wisely. Move strategically. Trust deeply. Something very big is coming soon, and you are no longer preparing for it. You are stepping directly into its unfolding. The next revelation will challenge you to solidify your commitment publicly and spiritually. And when that moment arrives, your response will determine the magnitude of what follows. Stay ready. Determined spirit. You are now standing at the threshold of visible breakthrough. Everything that has unfolded so far has been alignment, preparation, exposure, discipline, and acceleration. But what comes next is declaration. Not loud noise, not dramatic announcement, but undeniable evidence that something shifted permanently in your favor. Something very big is coming soon, and this time it will not be subtle. It will be measurable. You may receive confirmation through a result you have been waiting for. A decision may go in your favor. An authority figure may recognize your consistency. A door that remained closed for months may suddenly open without resistance. When it happens, you will feel both relief and awe. This is the moment heaven prepared you for. Archangel Michael's presence around you during this stage acts like a seal. What opens now is protected. What is granted now is guarded. You are not stepping into something fragile. You are stepping into something established. But listen carefully. With breakthrough comes responsibility to steward it wisely. Do not allow excitement to override structure. Do not abandon discipline because results begin appearing. Success must be managed with the same seriousness as struggle. You will also notice a shift in how people consult you. They may seek your opinion more frequently. They may ask for guidance. They may observe how you handle pressure. This is leadership forming naturally. Do not reject it out of humility. Accept it with grace. The seriousness of this message was never about fear. It was about positioning you to handle expansion without collapsing under its weight. Now that expansion is becoming tangible, you must remain grounded. There may be a temptation to prove yourself aggressively now that validation is arriving. Resist that urge. You do not need to prove what is already evident. Let your consistency speak. Something very big is coming soon, and it includes public confirmation that your season has changed. Even those who doubted you will quietly acknowledge your growth. They may not apologize. They may not admit they misjudged you, but their behavior will shift. Archangel Michael's guarding presence ensures that jealousy cannot sabotage what God has authorized. But you must guard your heart from pride. Stay anchored in gratitude. As this breakthrough unfolds, I want to pause and speak to you directly. If you have walked through this entire journey and you are beginning to see confirmation in your life, do not stay silent. Like this video so it reaches others who are waiting at their own threshold. Share it with someone who needs courage to step into their serious transition. Comment below. and declare that you are ready to steward your breakthrough wisely. Subscribe to this channel and stand with this growing community, because what is happening here is more than motivation. It is preparation for destiny. When you engage, you are helping this message travel further than you can imagine. Now hear this clearly. The next few days will contain a defining choice. It may involve stepping fully into a new role, committing to a higher standard, or releasing the last fragment of an old identity. This choice will feel weighty because it finalizes your transition. Do not hesitate. You have already endured the preparation. You have already faced exposure. You have already embraced discipline. This final step is confirmation. Something very big is coming soon, and it will stabilize into a new normal for you. What once felt extraordinary will become routine. Success will no longer feel surprising. Peace will no longer feel temporary. But there is one final test. You will be given an opportunity to revert to familiarity. It may look comfortable. It may feel safe. It may promise ease. But it will lack growth. Recognize it for what it is, a distraction disguised as nostalgia. Archangel Michael stands firmly at the gate of your new level. Only what aligns with your calling may enter. Do not personally reopen doors heaven has shut. You are no longer preparing for breakthrough. You are living inside it. The next revelation will complete this cycle with a final instruction that secures your elevation permanently. Stay alert, because the closing movement determines the lasting impact of everything you have walked through. Steady soul, you are now in the final stretch of this divine sequence. What began as a serious warning before midnight has unfolded into clarity, exposure, strengthening, elevation, and visible breakthrough. But before this cycle seals permanently, there is one final internal alignment that must take place. Something very big is coming soon, and this final stage determines how long it remains. Breakthrough is one thing. Maintenance is another. Many step into new levels but slowly drift back because they do not secure the mindset required to sustain what they have gained. You are not being elevated temporarily. You are being repositioned permanently. Archangel Michael's presence at this point functions like a guardian, not a completed gate. The structure has been built. The door has been opened. The opportunity has been granted. But now the guarding intensifies, not against external attack alone, but against internal sabotage. Yes, internal. There may still be small whispers of doubt that surface unexpectedly. You may occasionally question whether this level will last. You may wonder if something will go wrong. These thoughts are remnants of past seasons when instability was familiar. Do not entertain them. You must now think like someone who belongs here. This is the final transformation. Identity. Earlier, you were asked to remain silent. Then you were instructed to observe. Then you were guided to step forward. Now you must settle into your new position without apology. Something very big is coming soon, and it will solidify your influence in ways that stretch beyond your immediate environment. The impact will ripple. A decision you make will affect others positively. An opportunity you accept will create space for someone else. Your obedience is not isolated. It multiplies. There may also be reconciliation energy around you, but it will look different than before. Some who misunderstood you may attempt to reconnect. Not all reconnections are regressions, but discern carefully. Reconnection must align with your upgraded standards, not your past emotions. Archangel Michael's guarding presence will make misalignment feel obvious. Trust that discomfort. If something feels forced, it likely is. If something feels peaceful, it likely aligns. The seriousness of the original message now becomes clear. Without preparation, you may have mismanaged this level. Without exposure, you may have carried hidden interference into your breakthrough. Without silence, you may have invited resistance too early. But now, you are stable. In the coming days, establish new routines that reflect your elevation. Protect your mornings. Guard your focus. Allocate your time intentionally. What you normalize now becomes your standard. Something very big is coming soon, and it includes longevity. This is not a short burst of favor. It is sustained positioning. But sustained positioning requires sustained discipline. You may feel an urge to celebrate loudly. Celebrate, but remain wise. Gratitude is powerful. Exhibition is unnecessary. Let your growth be visible without becoming performative. There is also a spiritual strengthening taking place behind the scenes. Your discernment is sharper than ever. Your reactions are slower and more measured. Your confidence is quieter but deeper. These are signs of maturity. Archangel Michael stands not in battle mode now, but in watchful assurance. The battle was in the preparation. The fight was in the silence. The resistance was in the exposure. And now you are walking in secured territory. However, there is one final instruction. Release any lingering attachment to who you used to be. Stop referencing your old limitations as identity markers. Stop narrating your past struggles as if they are still active. They shaped you, but they no longer define you. Something very big is coming soon, and it will require you to introduce yourself differently, not necessarily in words, but in posture. Carry yourself like someone who expects alignment. Speak like someone who knows their value. Decide like someone who trusts divine timing. The next and final movement will seal this entire journey with a declaration and a prophetic activation. What you do in that moment will anchor this elevation permanently. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay grateful. You are no longer waiting at midnight. You are walking in morning light. Chosen and guarded one. This is the sealing moment. What began as a serious warning before 11:59 p.m. was never about fear. It was about alignment. It was about preparing you for a shift that could not be mishandled. And now you stand on the other side of that warning, not confused, not unstable, but strengthened. Something very big is no longer coming. It is here. You feel it in your clarity. You see it in your decisions. You recognize it in the way people respond to you now. The exposure happened. The separation occurred. The internal armor formed. The visible breakthrough arrived. And now, permanence is being established. This is the seal. Archangel Michael stands watch not because you are entering battle, but because you have crossed territory that required protection. The guarding was necessary during transition. Now the guarding ensures preservation. Understand this deeply. The reason Jesus chose only you to hear this was never about exclusivity for pride. It was about responsibility for obedience. You were trusted with advance notice because your spirit was mature enough to respond instead of react. You did not panic. You did not announce prematurely. You did not retreat when clarity felt uncomfortable. You stayed. And because you stayed, you now stand elevated. Something very big is manifesting in layers. You may already see the first evidence, but there is more unfolding behind it. The opportunity you accepted will grow. The influence you stepped into will expand. The stability you feel will deepen. But here is the final instruction that secures it permanently. Never return mentally to the season you were delivered from. Do not glorify old struggles. Do not romanticize old connections. Do not minimize your new level to make others comfortable. What God has elevated, you must not downgrade. There may be moments ahead where pressure attempts to test your stability, not to remove you, but to measure your growth. When those moments come, remember this entire journey. Remember the seriousness. Remember the midnight alignment. Remember the silence. Remember the exposure. Remember the breakthrough. You are no longer fragile. You are fortified. Archangel Michael's presence around your life now feels less intense because you are no longer in emergency transition. You are in established territory. But protection remains active. What was given to you was not temporary favor. It was positioned inheritance. Something very big is continuing to unfold, and it will stretch beyond what you initially imagined. The very area where you once felt overlooked will become the area where you are recognized. The very space where you felt delaying will become the space where you accelerate. You have crossover. Now seal this moment with boldness. Type "I walk in divine establishment" in the comments if you receive this final confirmation. Blessing code 9991 is now activated over your permanence, protection, and expansion. And now hear this as a final prophetic charge. If this entire journey awakened something in your spirit, if this serious message reached you at the exact right time, then your response must not remain passive. When you release a super thanks, when you join as a member, or when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are advancing a divine assignment. The word declares that those who sow into fertile ground reap in multiplied harvest, and tonight that promise stands over you personally. This is your moment to act in obedience, not convenience. As you give, you become a partner in delivering urgent messages before someone else's midnight hour passes. I declare that every seed sown into this mission returns to you in protection, provision, and supernatural favor. The same God who guarded your transition will guard your resources. Do not hesitate when your spirit is stirred. Move now. Activate your obedience. Secure your harvest. This is complete. Walk forward established.